That's the thing, chat. That's the same fucking thing, alright? Listen, you can put in the work and you can amass success and then you can apply as well. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as it sounds. But it wasn't that easy for Gura. I'm gonna go on a little tangent. There's a lack of self-responsibility within a lot of people that audition, I feel like. And that's why you get so many fucking idiots going on Twitter like, oh yeah, well, girl only got in because she had a huge following before this, and fucking, this other person only got in because they already knew the people that were in, blah, blah, blah. No. I'm sure some of these things had influence on it, alright? I'm sure, like, oh, this person already has good synergy with a bunch of the other members because they knew each other before they joined in the company. Or, like, getting in because she already had, like, a very strong, like, past, right? She had a bunch of big numbers in her past or whatever, right? Gura put in the work. The other people put in the work. They sent in their fucking audition. They had a good audition. If they had a dog shit audition, they wouldn't have gotten in. Because the people wouldn't even fucking pay attention. There's literally nothing stopping you from putting in the fucking work yourself. Except for your incessant whining and blaming of other people. That's just all there is to it. I'm sorry. That's just all there is to it. You can whine and complain and be like, whoa, blah, 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 blah. Take some fucking responsibility for yourself. If you wanna be in Hololive, and you're like, girl only got in because she had a big following before, then amass a fucking following and apply again, motherfucker. Oh, it's not as easy as that? Oh, it's not. Oh wow, it's all. Did she practice her singing? Did she develop her personality, her comedy? I know the idea of personality and comedy are really hard for you to wrap your little fucking brain around. But yeah, that's something that people actually work on to develop. It's not something that you can just copy paste from the fucking internet. Yeah, I know you're so used to going on TikTok and taking other people's audio and doing a little fucking voice dub of that shit, and you call it a day there. And you know what? Congratulations if that works for you. But you know, the reason it's probably not working is because you don't make anything original. All you do is bitch, complain, take other people's content, and co-opt other people's movements or gimmicks or whatever, trying to ride off the fucking coattails. And that is why you are not successful. That is why people like Hololive or FaceConnect do not want to hire you. Because you are entitled, you are lazy, and you have no personality. Other than being a bitch. It's very unfortunate. Work on yourself and then come back. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that. There is nothing stopping you from taking a year to focus on developing yourself, developing your content, etc. And then sending in another fucking application. Nobody's gonna hold it against you. You know, if people see, like, oh, wow, this person used to be an insufferable twat 1 year ago, and on their application, they were talking about how, like, the numbers, or whatever the fuck. Oh, but now they actually, you know, bring something to the table. Yeah, that's a good sign. I don't know if they'll remember you because you were a dime a dozen before, but, I mean, at least it's character development. You can talk about, like, your struggle and shit. Dollar Shark was also depressed and miserable with being an indie in her past life. Streaming in general isn't an easy grind. You have to work like crazy. And you know what? Joining a company makes it easier in some aspects and doesn't make it any easier in others. In fact, it makes it worse in others. Alright, speaking as somebody that has a past outside of a company, alright, there are some things where I look back and I'm like, oh wow, I'm so glad I'm in a company. This is so much easier now. And then there's other things where I look at the fact that I'm in a company and I'm like, I want to fucking shoot myself. This is fucking miserable. There's going to be hard times inside of a company where you're struggling to get a project together. Maybe people aren't pulling their weight. Maybe things aren't working out the way that they should have. Maybe you're fucking contract bound to something that you don't want to fucking deal with. And then there's other shit where it's like, oh wow, you know, that's so great. Wow, when I was in India, that was fucking miserable. Your life doesn't just magically get better when you're in a company. It's just a different set of hardships that you have to deal with. Some things get easier, some things get harder. And if you are so caught up right now in how bad shit is, and are so unwilling to put in the effort to stick through the grind to apply to a company, then you're not going to survive in a company anyways. You're just not. Unless you get really fucking lucky and you have management, like you have your own personal manager, whatever, and they're coddling your ass, it's still gonna be fucking difficult. It's still gonna be fucking difficult. Your problems don't just magically snap away. Good luck to you, though. You know, just remember it took Pippa years to get where she is. Yeah. I think I've done pretty well, right? I think I'm in a pretty great spot. I'm way farther along than I ever hoped to be. And if you look at where I am now, and you look at just, if you put it in the context of just how long I've been in FaceConnect, then it's like, wow, you know, that's fucking amazing growth. Good job. Yeah, Pippa's only existed for 1 year. Yeah. Pippa has only existed for 1 year. You don't know all of the shit that came before this. I always get emotional when I talk about this shit, so I don't want to go too deep into this crap, but like, you don't know, I was fucking skipping school to record videos, I dropped out of high school to fucking do YouTube, I fucking ruined so many friendships, lost so many good connections, squandered so many good opportunities, because this is all that I have ever been passionate about. And so you might look and be like, well, Pippa's only been here for 1 year. Yeah, well, there was somebody before this who was doing YouTube for years and years and years and trying different things, going sleepless nights, spending all their fucking money, doing what they could to try and make it. So yeah, I have a lot of knowledge that I took with me from that and applied to this. So I had a bit of a head start. I had a pretty fucking big head start because I have tried and I have failed over and over and over. And if you aren't willing to fail, then you're not gonna make it. You are not gonna make it. That's just genuinely how I feel. And you might not care about your failures. That's another thing, is people will look at people, they'll be like, oh, well, this person they just do whatever they want. They don't care if they fail. That doesn't change the fact that they're still failing. They're failing and they're getting back up. They don't care, but they're still going through that. You can't look at somebody and say, well, girl never like aggressively tried to get popular, you know, she was never like fucking baiting the algorithm or doing this or buying followers or whatever the fuck, so obviously like she wasn't really trying. She was taking things at her own pace, and she was still failing with some things, even if she didn't consider it a failure. If you were in her shoes, right, you had your current mindset, you probably would have viewed it as a failure, if that's like what your mindset is. You can't take other people's situation and use it as a scapegoat for why life is unfair to you. Alright? It's not unfair, it just is what it is. There is no fairness in this. There is no unfairness in this. It just is what you make of it. It is what you decide to do, how you decide to approach it. And that's how I recommend you take it going forward. Everything has its pros and cons. Being in a company may make a lot of things easier, but the disadvantage is you don't really own your content, so graduation is literal death. Yeah! Yeah, that is a very real thing. It's not a literal death rate. It's not like... This is one thing about being a VTuber in a company. Is all of those friends that you make, the network that you develop, the content that you make, you're most likely not gonna get to keep that. The friends that you get to keep are only going to be those that you like really get close to. The ones where if you come at them in another life and be like, hey, by the way, this is me, they still might stick by you. But a lot of those people you're just never going to talk to again until you build yourself back up and they naturally realize that it's you. A lot of your content, those Let's Play series that you started or whatever, it's gone. Those projects that you worked on, you spend your own money on, they're gone. It's not something you can just show people. It's just gone. It's locked away. So there's a lot of real, very strong downsides to being in a company. And this is something a lot of other people don't understand as well, is when you go into a company, it's not a golden ticket. They're just going to give you everything. They'll give you a model, they'll give you rigging. But even in Hololive, you know that they have to pay for their own song covers, right? There are some, like, company-provided projects where they cover things. But, like, in general, if you want to do a song cover, you're paying for that out of pocket. If you want a background, you're paying for that out of pocket. There are some things that are provided to you, but in large, you're still doing things. You're still finding artists on your own. It's going to be easier finding artists because you can put out feelers, or you can ask your gen mates, or you can ask management, like, hey, will you look for somebody for me? But there's no guarantee that they're going to give you those things. Yeah, games, you're still buying your own games. It's a lot. It's a lot. And if you go into it thinking that you're just going to be handed everything and it's this magical key to success, you're going to get fucked. Didn't Fishman buy you a Pokemon game or two? He said he was going to buy me Pokemon Arceus, but then he didn't. I think he didn't. He's paid for a few games. It's kind of hit or miss.